Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the sixth week of our free BRCGS certification familiarization training. I'm Jezreel from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Last week, we covered communication meetings as required under BRCGS Clause 1.1.5 within senior management commitment and continual improvement. Today, we will focus on the confidential reporting system in line with BRCGS Food Safety Clause 1.1.6. This requirement emphasizes that the company must establish a system that allows all employees to report concerns related to product safety, integrity, quality, or legality confidentially and without fear of reprisal. Understanding and implementing this requirement helps promote a strong food safety culture, encourage transparency across all levels of the organization, and ensure that potential issues are identified and addressed promptly before they escalate into major nonconformities or safety risks. By the way, this free training session is sponsored by Consultare Inc. Group, a compliance company. Founded in 2007, we began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end to end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSVP, PCQI, SQF, PRCGS, FSSC 22000, ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen their regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Now let's take a look at our training schedule. This week, we will focus on the confidential reporting system as outlined in BRCGS Clause 1.1.6. Gaining a clear understanding of this requirement is essential to achieving and sustaining your BRCGS certification goals. In today's session, we will begin by familiarizing ourselves with the BRCGS 1.1.6 confidential reporting system, starting with an overview of the requirements and a walkthrough of the compliance action activities performed on a regular schedule to maintain certification readiness. We will also discuss the annual review and internal audit activities, which help verify program effectiveness and drive continuous improvement. You are also encouraged to ask questions in the chat box, which we will address in the next week's session. Participants may also request a free 90-day trial of our SQF certification management software to help manage compliance tasks, assign accountability, and stay audit ready. Finally, all participants will receive a training certificate. Please ensure that you have completed the free certification familiarization training sign-up form shared in the chat. On the screen, you will see a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. With that, let's move forward to our training session, where we will be working directly with the BRCGS Compliance Management System software. So let's start by going over the description of the requirements of the BRCGS 1.1.6 confidential reporting system. Please take a look at the description on the screen. It says, the company shall operate a confidential system for staff to report concerns related to product safety, authenticity, legality, and quality. The system shall first be clearly communicated to staff, like relevant phone number, include a process for senior management to assess concerns raised, and document assessments and actions taken where appropriate. So you may update or edit the description as needed, for example, to reflect revisions when new BRCGS editions are released. To implement this requirement, the action items are outlined in the Compliance tab. So this section supports the food safety and quality team leader or the site technical or quality manager by organizing tasks by frequency, whether they are performed daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. So here are some examples of your compliance action items for your daily activities. For your daily activities or activity, this might include monitoring the confidential reporting channels daily. So this includes checking the hotline inbox phone or hotline inbox, phone lag, and monitoring suggestion box notifications or digital alert triggers. For your weekly activities, this include checking physical confidential reporting boxes if used, review hotline or email inbox, log any new reports into the confidential reporting log, conduct initial risk assessment for any new reports received, and escalate urgent or high risk concerns to senior management immediately. For your quarterly activities, this include trend and analyze all reports for patterns like safety, authenticity, legality, or quality teams. Then report trend summary to senior management as part of quarterly performance, verify effectiveness of previously closed CAPA from whistleblower cases, and conduct refresher awareness like posters, reposted, or toolbox reminders. For your biannual or semi-annual activities, this include perform system effectiveness review, like are reports being received, are assessments timely, or are staff aware of the system and trust itself? And then conduct a targeted awareness campaign, for example, mid-year anti-retaliation message, and audit confidentiality controls like access restriction and anonymity protection. So basically, this serves as a checklist of compliance activities that you need to perform. You can either add your own or use your own compliance action items by adding the compliance activities here, or you may use the preloaded activities that we provide. Now, to complete these activities, we've also provided work instructions and compliance activities in the instruction and evidence section, along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. For example, to complete the action item, which states that monitor the confidential reporting channels daily. This includes checking the hotline inbox, phone lag, and monitoring suggestion box notifications or digital alert triggers. Let's check the view section or option here to see the work instructions on how to complete this activity. So first is you need to access reporting channels. This includes logging in securely to the confidential reporting inbox if there is a designated or dedicated reporting inbox or voicemail system or digital dashboard. It also involves checking the physical or digital suggestion box for any new entries or alerts as defined in the SOP. So your artifacts and records includes daily monitoring lag and system access lag. Next step is to review and record new reports. So you need to review all new or unread messages, voicemails, or digital submissions. Also record the date, time, and reporting channel for each entry, and do not delete, alter, or forward original reports outside the authorized group. For your artifacts and records, you need to complete the confidential reporting channel monitoring log or message or alert, or take message or alert screenshots. Next is to acknowledge receipt. So if the system allows, send a standard acknowledgement confirming that the report was received and will be reviewed confidentially. So the artifacts or records involved in this process or in this step are acknowledgement, message copy, or email log entry. Next is to document monitoring results. So you need to record findings in the monitoring log, including the number of reports received, issue summaries, of course, without the personal details to maintain confidentiality, and any escalation reference numbers. The artifacts or records involved in this process is the confidential reporting channel, monitoring lag, or escalation report form. Next step is escalate reports for review. So you need to forward valid reports to the food safety and quality manager or the HR manager within 24 hours of receipt. You need also to ensure confidentiality is maintained throughout the process. So the artifacts and records are escalation report form or email or ticket reference for follow-up. And finally, review and verification. The food safety and quality manager reviews the monitoring lag weekly and verifies that all received reports have been addressed or under investigation, and they need to sign and date the lag to confirm review. So the artifacts or records involved in this step are the reviewed and signed monitoring lag and follow-up action summary. So these are just example of compliance record that you can provide to complete a specific action item. Now, to demonstrate compliance, let's check one sample of record, completed record, as evidence of compliance to perform this action item or to complete this action item. So we've uploaded here a confidential reporting system monitoring record. Okay, so as you can see, the record demonstrates that the company maintains an active and effective confidential reporting system in line with the clause of BRCGS 1.1.6. So as you can see on the date range between October 28 to October 30, 2025, all reporting channels, including hotline inbox, phone log, suggestion box, and digital alert dashboards, were checked daily and confirmed to be fully operational. On October 28th, the first day of reporting, one anonymous report regarding locker room cleanliness was received through the suggestion box and promptly forwarded to the HR and sanitation department for review and action. So on October 29 and 30, as you can see on the record, no issues were found and reported. So confirming consistent functionality of all channels. So each monitoring record was reviewed and signed by the QA manager on the verification and signature section, verifying management oversight. Overall, this record provides evidence that the company's confidential reporting process is working, accessible, regularly monitored, and responsive, supporting a culture of openness and continual improvement as required by BRCGS standard. So this is just an example of an evidence of compliance for your action items. Your goal is to complete all the compliance action items and provide supporting evidence, turning every no into yes to ensure that you are fully audit ready. So these documents can also be retrieved and presented during an actual audit as proof of compliance. Next, let's go over the annual review tab, which also serves as a gap assessment tool. So this tab is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaire to help you maintain compliance with BRCGS certification requirements. Under the confidential reporting system, annual review questions might include the following. Has the SOP for the confidential reporting system been reviewed within the past 12 months? Does the SOP still reflect current channels like phone, box, email, QR, or others? Is access to whistleblower records restricted to authorized personnel only? Has the system been recommunicated to all staff within the past year? Is there evidence that anti-retaliation and confidentiality assurances were communicated? Have all reports received during the year been lagged in a confidential register? Were all reports assessed and documented with actions or decisions by management? Were any high risk or critical concerns escalated immediately as per SOP? Are closure actions and evidence retained for all completed cases? Has a trend analysis of reports been performed in the last 12 months? Have recurring or systemic concerns been addressed via CAPA or policy updates? Were anonymized outcomes shared with senior management during reviews? Did management evaluate the effectiveness of the system over the past year? Does the company have evidence that the system is trusted or used by the staff? Was the confidential reporting system performance discussed in the annual management review? Were previous commitments or action plans from last review tracked and closed? And were improvements or changes proposed for the next cycle based on review output? So once again, these are simply examples of annual review assessments questions that you can adapt in your facility. You may also customize or develop your own assessment tailored to your specific processes. Now let's take one annual review item as an example and see how compliance is demonstrated. So for example, let's pick the assessment question. Is there evidence that anti-retaliation and confidentiality assurances were communicated? Let's check the work instruction on how to complete this assessment item. So first is to review past communications for explicit language. So this includes examining emails, posters, toolbox scripts, training slides, and town hall decks to verify they explicitly state both first, no retaliation for reporting, and reports are handled confidentially. The artifacts or records involved in this process are copies or screenshots of communications, highlighted excerpt showing assurance language, and communication log referencing anti-retaliation topic. Next step is to confirm distribution reached intended audience. So you need to validate issuance to all relevant staff groups and shifts and confirm acceptance or attendance where required. The artifacts and records here are receipts, LMS completions, and sign-in sheets, as well as posting photos in production or common areas, and multilingual versions of communication materials if applicable. Next is to validate currency within defined cycle. So you need to check if these assurances were communicated within the defined review or refresh time frame. For example, annual or per SOP trigger or changes or updates on the SOPs. So you need the dated evidence bundle, annual communication calendar, or gap lag if out of cycle. And then finally, you need to document verification and file for audit. So this includes recording assessment results and retain collected proof in controlled repository. The artifacts and records are verification log entry, filed evidence pack, like communications plus proof of reach, and repository index or link. So let's demonstrate compliance by uploading a sample of any completed record to demonstrate compliance with a certain assessment item. So in this case, we've added or we've uploaded confidential reporting system communication record. So let's check on the record. This record demonstrates that the company effectively communicated its anti-retaliation and confidentiality assurances in line with the requirements of BRCGS Clause 1.1.6. So, for example, in October 2025, employees were informed through orientation sessions, refresher training, internal memos, and posted notices that they could report concerns confidentially and without fear of retaliation. For example, during the October 10 orientation, here in the first entry, the HR officer explained the reporting procedures and the company's zero tolerance policy for retaliation, while follow-up communications reinforced these assurances across departments. So all activities were verified and signed off by the management, confirming that the company promotes a safe, transparent, and well-monitored reporting culture consistent with the BRCGS requirements. So this is just an example of how to complete a specific assessment by providing evidence of compliance. Then again, your goal is to turn the status of every annual review questionnaire from no to yes to help you measure compliance progress while also preparing your facility for both internal and external BRCGS certification audit. At this point, you may now post your questions in the chat box. So please note that all inquiries will be reviewed to ensure that each question is properly addressed. We will cover these questions in detail during the next week's training session. In the meantime, while some of you may still be typing your questions, we'd like to invite you to our other free certification familiarization training sessions held every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Central Time. Please note that the CGMP training is conducted separately every Tuesday at 1 p.m. These sessions covers various topics like FSSC 22000 certification, SQF certification, FDA food code, foreign supplier verification programs or FSVP compliance, and 21 CFR parts 117 and 111 compliance or CGMP for human food and dietary supplements. You may also schedule a one-on-one BRCGS coaching session for personalized guidance on implementing and maintaining compliance with your site's BRCGS requirements. So this concludes our training session on BRCGS 1.1.6 Confidential Reporting System. Your training certificates will be sent directly to your registered email addresses. We also invite you to join us again next week as we discuss our next topic, resources, under BRCGS Clause 1.1.7. For those who haven't yet completed the free certification familiarization sign-up form, we encourage you to do so and indicate your interest in receiving a 90-day free BRCGS certification management software. The software provides access to the compliance dashboard, training management tools, customer and supplier requirements management, and digitized forms or e-forms, ideal for those transitioning from a paper-based to a paperless system. If you have any questions, clarifications, or feedback regarding today's training, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at hello@consultareinc.com. Thank you for your participation, and we wish you a pleasant day ahead.